Welcome everyone, this is Franco.
And I'm Nathan.
And we're doing our week in review. It's been a week since it's been 2 weeks since we've done it.
It's been a lot of weeks.
Yes.
I've been on vacation, I just don't want to do it.
Right, there's that. Alright, so trying to catch up on some stuff. First and foremost, we're going to switch to TV. And Game of Thrones is now on its third episode.
Is it third or fourth?
Third. It's the third
Okay.
episode.
Right.
Spoiler alert. Also, it's 3 weeks into the Game of Thrones, so if you haven't caught up by now, it's your own damn fault. So yeah.
And I mean, y'all can tell I'm super into Game of Thrones though, because I know how many episodes in we are. So
Exactly. Yeah. Don't try to play it off. You know you want to keep watching.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched it
Exactly.
and my Twitter feed and Instagram feed and Snapchat all at the same time. So yeah.
So yes. Either way.
This week's episode was
better. I mean, it wasn't.
It was what it was.
The week before that, again, spoiler alert: Jon Snow is back.
Right. I think everybody should know the worst kept secret in Hollywood.
Right.
Jon Snow is back, and he was actually back and alive and kicking. He's talking now.
Mm-hmm.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
But why is it Jon Snow got brought back and he's upset? Why is it when every time a character gets brought back from the dead, they're always pissed off?
I don't know.
When Buffy came back from the dead, she was pissed off.
Well, see, Buffy.
The guy from Supernatural came back from the dead.
But when Buffy came back, she came back from heaven, so she had a right to be pissed off. Jon Snow came back, and he said he came back from nothing. So if anything, he'd be doing backflips.
Yeah, but
that huzzah!
Exactly. But still, like everybody, why everyone always? It's not like yes, I get to do it again.
Right.
It's
apparently being dead is good.
Whatever.
I
no one
know.
wants to die, but all of a sudden, like you get brought back, and you're like, "Son of a bitch, just leave me dead."
Exactly.
I don't get it.
Yeah. So then.
But you got to see Jon Snow come back, and then he pieced out of the Night's Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like everybody wants to do at work and be like, "Yo, I'm done with this shit."
Right.
Peace.
He did his dirty deeds, and that was it.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna lead up to him taking back Winterfell.
I mean, it would probably be like bastard against bastard, like him versus what's his face?
That guy.
The creepy guy that took over
Bolton.
the creepiness.
Bolton.
Not Reese Bolton. Some kind of Michael Bolton. No.
He's gonna show up with
with the long hair. He doesn't have long hair anymore. Never mind.
Either way.
I think it's gonna be a little bastard on bastard action where like.
But he's gonna bring his whole army of wildlings to Winterfell
and the giants
and
so
they're
gonna be
own face.
What like Jon Snow versus John C. Whatever random Bolton, and it's gonna be it's gonna be. I think it should be cool because I guess random Bolton took over like the
family,
the assholeness from like Joffrey because they killed off Joffrey, so they need another super asshole character, so they brought out random Bolton.
Yeah, and see, Joffrey was just a d-bag. This guy's creepy and a d-bag, and so he's got.
Do you think he's worse than Joffrey or Joffrey worse than this guy?
No, this guy's worse than Joffrey.
You think so?
Joffrey was a d-bag, a baby d-bag. He was just growing into. He would have become worse than this guy, than the Bolton guy, had he been allowed to grow up, because he had the power, the resources, and everything to be the massive d-bag of all d-bags. But this guy, he's had practice at being a d-bag.
I don't know. I mean, Joffrey was a pretty serious d-bag too.
Right.
He's not as personal with it like this dude was. Like Joffrey had like hench people to do his dirty work, but
he was a d-bag and going through puberty. This guy was a full-on d-bag, and he's had practice.
I guess it's battle for the d-bags in the comment section. Let us know who's the bigger d-bag. We'd like to know.
We'll keep moving on.
But speaking of the d-bag, he finally got Stark back.
Right.
Not Sansa, who he was looking for though. He got Recon. Recon Stark.
Yeah, which everybody forgot for like 3 seasons.
Well, I think everybody forgot about most of the other 2 Stark kids just because.
But didn't one of them die though? Because it was 2.
No,
it was 2 brothers. And
it was the 2 brothers that he what's his face? Theon supposedly killed, but he didn't kill both of them, and then they both left and went away.
I feel like one of them died, but I'm not.
No, that was like there was another younger guy that was with them, and that girl, and then the younger guy died, but it wasn't.
I still have a feeling that one of them died. So then this is the surviving one.
But I mean, he is at the hands of Random Bolton. Right. So, I mean, he's probably not in for a good couple of episodes.
No, we're going to see how big of a D-bag this guy is.
I wonder how long it is before he dies, or like he cuts off something.
Yeah, well, it won't be long.
Probably not.
Something. Yeah. And speaking of the Starks, we have Arya Stark got her sight back.
She did, yeah. She's on her way to becoming no one.
Well,
I mean, there's a goal.
The man,
what do you want to be?
The lady with no name. Yeah.
Well, either way, I mean, Arya's there and she's
so there's movement.
It's
a progress going through the season.
It's
I guess
true.
They're dropping seeds.
And the other Stark, up in his tree or under the tree.
Under the tree, being led by Max von Sydow, who I thought was dead.
In real life or like
in real life, a dude's like 7,000 years old. He's as old as the tree that he was inhabiting.
He just probably wasn't in a lot of stuff. He's picking and choosing.
He's on the vegan diet?
The AARP, whatever it is. He's chilling retirement-wise, and they brought him back.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that he's alive. I love Max von Sydow. He's awesome.
But either way, he's chilling under the tree.
Right.
With the other Stark kid that can he, what is it? He sees he can travel and see the past?
Bran? Yeah, he can. No, Max von Sydow.
Right, Bran and him.
And him. And who?
And Bran.
Bran?
Don't they have the same superpowers?
They might. But I know Bran can see through the eyes of other people and can take control of animals and Hodor. Right. But as far as seeing the past and stuff as vividly, no, I think Max von Sydow gave him that or showed him.
Oh, I thought he was like training him as like his little Padawan or whatever. But then at the end of the episode, he said he wasn't gonna be the old man in the tree like that Max is. So
I don't know.
Either way, Bran's chilling under the tree and looking into the past of his dad, and I guess
Ned,
right. I guess old guy wants him to see the past and sort of. I don't know if. We don't know if he can change the past or influence the past. Bran is.
Yeah.
But he did yell out "Dad" in the episode, and young Nettie turned around and looked for that voice or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So does that mean he'll be able to in the future go back into the past and change things and be yo, you're gonna get beheaded and betrayed?
I wonder how that's gonna change the whole thing. I mean,
maybe that's how that's the end game of it. He goes back and tells his dad that he's gonna get betrayed, and then boom, the whole series is over because
Ned is still alive, and then
But then it said everything that's already done is already written, and you can't change it. So we don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm already lost on this, but anyway, so interesting things are gonna happen in Game of Thrones. Now, keeping it on the TV side, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is this season's almost over. Civil War has just happened, and I'm curious.
Be sure to check out that review, by the way. We're doing a spoiler-free one. We did the non-spoiler-free one.
Now we're going to do all of the spoilers.
But apparently everybody and their mother already watched it, so if you haven't watched it, too bad.
Shame on you.
Your spoilers.
And, so that's your own damn fault again. So
back to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, and there's going to be a link in the description below as far as the review is concerned. So then, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This season's been kind of light on tying it into the movies. The previous seasons either had direct tie-ins to the movies, a la Winter Soldier. S.H.I.E.L.D. went to shit, and now Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually got better because of it.
But I mean, they don't have to tie into everything. Just because a Marvel movie comes out doesn't mean
but that was kind of the whole premise behind.
No, that's how it started to get people going into the TV show. I don't think you necessarily
you can't be a shared universe if you're not sharing.
Yeah, but you can't be a shared. You don't have to share everything in the
Well,
like.
not necessarily.
Okay,
Yeah,
Ant-Man came out. We have to do Ant-Man.
Well,
What about Jessica Jones?
Well, here's the
What
thing, though.
about
It doesn't.
Luke
It
Cage?
doesn't
Like, why don't-
necessarily have to have
Where's Peter Parker?
a full on like shift in the season. They can still tell the story, but like they don't. There aren't any mentions. Like the one mention that I did notice was with season 2 of Daredevil. They mentioned gang war.
Right, okay.
Gang war in.
But we're
Hell's
talking
Kitchen.
about Shield, so let's go back to Shield.
Right.
Like, why? So does that mean why didn't Jessica Jones and Luke Cage to come? Are they gonna mention the Agents of Shield? Like, are Agents of Shield gonna mention?
It would be nice.
Jessica
I mean,
Jones
they're all owned by the same company.
Just because I mean, I get that, but I think.
But I could understand if in Daredevil they wouldn't mention Agents of Shield because they're supposed to be all secretive. So Daredevil essentially wouldn't know what's going on that end. But on the flip side,
But everybody knows Shield because things.
but Shield's
follow
no
from Sky.
Shield's no longer there.
Right, but I don't understand.
On the flip side, let's say the whole thing would happen in Ant-Man, like this big explosion over at the Pimtech or whatever. That could have been mentioned on Agents of Shield, and unless I missed an episode that I don't know about, I didn't see that.
Right, but I mean, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter.
Or it matters to me. I like it because that's how they started off with the whole.
Right, but
and now they're just gonna
start it up to get Agents of Shield.
Well,
going,
you can't. Like I said,
throw us
you can't
from
have,
the Marvel universe into Agents of Shield because Agents of Shield wasn't like
Right.
a Marvel thing until like 3 years ago.
Well,
so
I just wish that they had a little bit more mentions. No, you're wrong. Either way, like I said, you can't have a shared universe if you're not sharing. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
But, all right.
I guess we'll see Spider-Man there too because shared universes.
Exactly. All right. So moving away from Marvel, we're gonna throw some tidbits as far as little news tidbits that are coming out. One coming out from DC that the head honcho Jeff Johns, head honcho at DC, has pretty much given all control of the next Batman movie to Batfleck or Ben Hoofleck, and seeing as certain movies that shall not be named didn't do as well critically as they were expecting, so now Ben Hoofleck or Ben Affleck is gonna have full control of the next Batman movie.
He's directing it. He was directing it already, right?
So
now he's producing it
and writing it, along with this other guy, David S. Goyer, which was also
one of the writers. He's the co-writers of the old Batman, the Christopher Nolan Batmans, right?
Him and Christopher Nolan,
right?
But I think Christopher Nolan had more input than Goyer.
Right. Well, I mean, either way, I think
Affleck's
a good director.
No, Affleck's an amazing
director. Great.
Yeah. Not only that, but he's a Academy Award winning Oscar, an Oscar winner for writing.
Yeah,
so I mean, if anybody can fix Batman,
he did. In all seriousness, though, him and Matt Damon did spend like 12 years on that script. So
right.
I mean, he won't have as much time.
But also, what was that other Argo? Argo was an amazing movie.
I never saw it.
Yeah, so Argo was an amazing movie, and so I mean, he has the ability to, if anybody can fix the way the DC universe is going, it's Ben Affleck. As much as I didn't have that much confidence in him being Batman, but I was glad to be proven wrong.
Well, I mean, Suicide Squad is still to come out, so
yeah.
I don't know if "fix" is the right word, but it did.
Right.
Batman vs Superman didn't do him any favors, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see. And also with DC, we have the Green Lantern Corps was announced. It wasn't actually they haven't shown anything. It was just sort of like the somewhat of a.
We're gonna make a Green Lantern Corps movie,
right? And they're staying away from one specific Green Lantern, so it seems like all of the Green Lanterns are gonna be featured in this movie. I honestly don't.
Which one are they staying away from?
Well, it's Hal Jordan. Like for example, with the last Green Lantern movie, where it was Ryan Reynolds, that was Hal.
Right. Well, no, I get that they're gonna do the Green Lantern Corps, but there's generally like a ring. Even if it's a group movie, like Captain America, Iron Man, there was a leader of the team, so it has to focus on.
I don't know. Who knows? And that's the thing. And not only that, but how are they gonna tie that into Justice League? Because if I'm not mistaken, Green Lantern.
But I guess this is gonna come out after Justice League. Right.
Who knows?
If it just got announced,
I would imagine.
it would come out
Yeah.
after.
But I don't think they've even started filming Justice League now.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, but I mean that doesn't matter.
way.
But they just announced this. But they announced
DC
Justice League,
is just a convoluted mess at this point. So we'll see where they go with that.
Again, fanboy alert. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep a bit more level-headed and say that
you can call it
there is a plan
level-headed
because Marvel announces 70 movies at a time.
Right. And
I guess you need that sort
in
of
all
structure in
fairness,
your life,
moving
but-
away from DC to Marvel, Inhumans, which was given a whole lot of attention when they first announced Phase 3, or I think it was Phase 4
They
at this
got
point.
a lot of attention, but they said there was going to be an Inhumans thing.
Right, and then they started popping that up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This whole entire season has been Inhumans. And now the Inhumans movie that was scheduled for 2020 or 2019 has now been taken off the slate, off the calendar, and it's completely and utterly gone.
I don't really mind though.
It's in limbo. I'm
kind of hoping that they replace it with maybe a Black Widow movie.
Actually, it'd be really
Scarlett
awesome.
Johansson can carry a movie. We've seen it do it already.
Yeah, but let's they got rid of Inhumans. Maybe the main reason they even mentioned the Inhumans because they didn't have the rights to the XMen. Now, seeing what happened with Spider-Man, what if maybe this is me being hopeful?
No.
They replace Inhumans with X-Men.
No.
And
they're not going to do that.
Well, crossing my fingers. And
They're
there's still a lot of time.
They're not going to do that.
How do you know that?
Because they're not going to do that.
Okay, you can say that. Just the same way a few years ago we were saying Sony is never going to give the rights to Spider-Man back to Marvel, and here we are. We just literally saw Spider-Man in Civil War. So the possibility's there, and I'm being hopeful. So that's...
I mean, it is what it is, but
Yeah.
Humans is off. I kind of hope, like I said, maybe a Black Widow movie.
Yeah, Black Widow definitely deserves a movie at this point. It's been
I don't know
long
if she
overdue.
definitely deserves one, but I kind of want to see one just because...
I think so. I think she can handle her own movie, and it would be awesome, to tell you the truth. And talking about Civil War, the box office numbers are in, and it did amazeballs. It was like $181 million. It was the 5th biggest opening in history?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. And it's funny because out of those 5 top movies, 3 of them are Marvel movies. Yeah, so was it Iron Man 2 or Iron Man? I don't know. One of the Iron Man movies.
Avengers was like the
Age of
best.
Ultron and Age of Ultron, and one of the Iron Man movies were the other 2.
But I think it's done like 700 million worldwide.
Right.
And that's in under 2 weeks. So I mean,
yeah,
they're on track to beat the other big superhero movie of the year, which is Batman vs Superman, which I think is only like
it was 160,
870 for the year.
Yeah.
Worldwide box office. That only did like 100 since it's open. It's done 870 million or around there. So it's doing really well.
Right.
It still can't crack The Jungle Book, which is I think almost at $1 billion now. So
right.
But I'm just saying, The Jungle Book was really massive. If you haven't seen it, I heard it was really good. You saw it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Go check it out.
Absolutely. And the Assassin's Creed movie that's coming out later this year. They just started.
With Michael Fassbender, for those of you that don't know.
Right, and they actually started releasing some photos, and so far it looks pretty close to the video game.
Which Assassins? Because there's been like 18 different versions.
It looks like they're going to go with the story, which I'm glad that this is what they're going to do, but they're going to go with the story from the very first game with Altair and during like either right around the time of the Crusades.
The hood and the
they all have hoods.
Well, I mean like Crusades-y.
The Crusades.
Not Pirate of the Caribbean.
No. So it's a Crusades, and I like that because the books, I mean, I don't know how... They were books. The book started off with part 2, Assassin's Creed 2.
Right.
Because it's the funner story, but it's the more charismatic character, rather.
Gotcha.
So they started with that route, and they kind of brushed over. They eventually came around and made a book for the first game, but either way,
they released some promo images.
And the trailer's supposed to be coming out probably by the end of the week, maybe even next week. I'm excited. I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed. I played all the games, and I'm excited for it.
So if you want to see those, get on your Google machine.
on the Google thing.
On the Google machine.
On the Googles. And the reviews for X-Men Apocalypse have started trickling. It came out
Well,
this
they did
week
like some of those world premieres and whatnot.
overseas.
So, you know, the red carpet, the fanciness with all the
Right.
actors and actresses, or actors, because they're all actors.
Actors now, yeah, or PC now.
Either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. So the reviews have started coming in from those premieres, and it looks like it's sort of mixed reviews. We're at according to the last time I checked, it was 47% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean,
It could change. It could go a lot higher depending on once it gets released here in the U.S. or to the public in general, because some of those critics could be rather tough.
I mean, who knows? Either way, I mean, we praise them when they like movies we like, and then we hate them when they hate movies we like. So
Yeah.
it's a tough out there being a critic. But either way, I mean, we're gonna wait and see. It comes out in like 2 weeks here
Right.
in the States. So stay tuned before I go check. I'm gonna see it opening night.
So am I. I'm excited about it. Again, fanboy.
I mean, it's Apocalypse. You can't. Apocalypse is one of like the greatest villains in all of Marvel.
Yeah.
Or all of comic books,
But
for that matter. So you have to kind of want to go see it.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna contain him in one movie though, because he's kind of like a bit. He's like the X-Men's version of Thanos, almost.
Well,
Because he's like really OP, so I don't know how they're gonna contain him in one.
I guess we'll find out
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll see in 2 weeks. And moving away from movies, we're going on to video games with The Division. There's supposed to be an update coming out.
Update 1.2.
1.2. And what this whole thing is they're going to add a new level to the Dark Zone. People who are at level 200 and above will now start seeing higher drops that corresponds to your level.
So
And
yeah, for some of those of you that get owned in the face, like other people in
Me
this
too.
video,
Yeah.
when you go into the Dark Zone, they're going to make the Dark Zone, I guess, more level specific and a little bit harder for
those people.
And with that hardness comes better drops. So
Right.
they really don't have any reason to come back down to people that are just starting off in the game and just getting and ranking up in the Dark Zone. So
Exactly.
they're giving everyone better loot. Especially they've said this before. You can check out their YouTube talk that they did recently. But they're giving everyone better loot, so you'll get better loot when you do the challenging missions and the incursions and all of those things. And apparently, if those of you who get really annoyed when you finally kill a boss, or you do kill a boss after playing the incursion on challenging mode, and you're like, yes, and then you finally kill them, and then you get a performance mod that drops after you kill literally anything in the game. They are nerfing that, so
Thank God.
or is it? I don't know. They're not. Well, yes, they're nerfing it. You're gonna get a little less of those, right? You're gonna get a little less of those. You're gonna get. They said a little more weapons. They're gonna
Finally.
They said they're not gonna nerf any of the current weapons because they don't like to nerf things. But they are gonna.
Destiny.
Exactly. But they are gonna buff some of the weapons that we don't use currently, or that people aren't using in the game currently, just so people can use more than the two weapons that I think people use now. You either have that AUG or you have the Vector in your primary weapon slot, and everyone's hunting that M1A for your sniper rifle and so on and so forth. So they said they're gonna to buff those. They don't like to nerf things, so they're gonna buff all the other weapons, and just
Which is awesome.
right? And then they're gonna drop more. So.
And
And they're actually going to drop at a level that you can use, because there's nothing worse than beating challenging mode and then getting level 163 blue, or not even, or level 163 like gold gun. So they're fixing all of those things.
Thank
in
God,
1.2,
because
so.
that was really annoying, and you're dumping all kinds of hours into pretty much farming these areas, and you get crap out of it. But glad they're fixing it. And Fallout 4 is coming out with some DLC, the Far Harbor. I'm excited for it. I play a lot of Fallout 4, and this supposedly is one of their biggest DLC, which is kind of hard to believe because some of the other DLC from Fallout 3 is like huge. It added like 20, 30, 40 hours to some of their other stuff. So
What kind of gigs are you talking?
I don't know, but it has to like it might be somewhere along the lines of I don't know.
You guys might have to delete or make some hard drive space. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, or just buy a secondary hard drive like me,
Man.
and because they're not that expensive anymore. So that I can't wait. They're supposed to be able to get some new weapons. I guess there's some newer enemies, as well as a new safe house and.
Ooh, a new safe house.
A little whoop-de-doo. But anyway, I'm excited for it. A new campaign to it as well. So I'm excited about it. And some stuff that I'm not so excited about, we have Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The trailer for that just dropped. And a lot of people are not digging it. I, for one, am not. I'll put a link in the description for the trailer. I kind of want to know what you thought about it. But essentially, it is Call of Halo, in my opinion. It looks so much like Halo. The only thing is, I didn't see any aliens. That's the only thing but like the weapons are starting to look like Halo. They're in space now. They have
Call of Duty in space.
Yeah, they're in
I
space.
thought the whole Call of Duty. I don't play Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
no
it
offense.
started off with Call of Duty was the realistic.
Right, I thought all of it was like some sort of war something. So
Right,
it was
and-
like back in the day war, current war, whatever.
yeah. And then they started doing the modern warfare where it was a little bit in like the distant future, not so distant future, like a few years from now, where they have like a little bit more advanced weapons and this and the other, different
So
conflicts.
maybe this is just Call of Duty, like
No, this
future warfare.
that's exactly what it is. But then then it stops being realistic because now it's Halo or Destiny or whatever.
Hey, laser weapons are the future, people.
Whatever.
Get
yeah.
used to them.
So what I am excited about is actually Battlefield. Battlefield was the other competitor for Call of Duty, where it was the realistic shooter, and they're actually going back.
I always think Battleship whenever I hear Battlefield.
Yeah. Well, Battlefield, they're doing World War One, and I for one, I'm gonna pre-order this one.
Because they've never done a World War One.
They haven't actually. They did World War Two. It's
the difference is too real. People.
Well, either way, I'm happy about it because I want them to go back. And I really wished Call of Duty would have done that. I would have. It's been like four years since I've been into Call of Duty, and I was getting ready to jump in, and soon as they announced World War II or World War One, but Battlefield did that, so therefore they're gonna get my money.
Oh, by the way, follow up to a story that we did in the last week in review.
Mm-hmm.
It's finally here.
What?
Nathan Drake for the last time.
Oh yes.
Uncharted is out. Let us know if you're playing it. Let us know if you got it. We're probably going to get it and do a review on it eventually, but let's just be real.
It looks amazing.
I mean, it looks great. So
Yeah.
if you haven't, you should. If you own a PlayStation 4, it should probably have been one of the reasons you bought your PlayStation 4.
Exactly.
So.
That's pretty much that. And
yeah, I don't think can you own a PlayStation and not be a fan of Uncharted? Is that a thing?
You could. I mean, you could be straight up FIFA.
I mean, I'm straight up FIFA, but Uncharted is just it is what it is.
Yeah. So and the Last of Us, you got to play that as well.
Yeah.
Well,
FIFA, Madden, Uncharted.
Yeah. Well, you haven't played the Last of Us. That's why you're saying
2K.
that. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Actually, now that you mentioned Nathan Drake, something just popped into my head. It is actually there are rumors coming out of Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. We're kind of going on a weird roundabout trip, but it's totally worth it. There have been tangents.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So apparently there have been a lot of screenshots showing or photos from Guardians of the Galaxy showing Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion in these posters. And they're saying that the character he plays is actually Wonder Man in the Marvel Universe. Because the character of Wonder Man, I think his name is... I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. But he is... Wonder Man, apparently, his alter ego is... whatever this guy's name is, I forgot. And he is an actor. So there's a film festival in the movie. In Guardians of the Galaxy, and they have all of these posters with all the movies that
in the first Guardian,
in the Part 2.
Oh, in part 2. Okay.
In part 2, they have like
There's a film festival.
There's
Okay.
yeah, and then one of the posters is actually Nathan Fillion dressed up like Tony Stark, and they did sort of like a Steve Jobs poster, but instead of Steve Jobs being there, it's Tony Stark, and so it's Nathan Fillion doing that, and Nathan Fillion doing like 5 or 6 other movies. So it's a film festival on Nathan Fillion's character, and it just so happens that this character that he plays is also Wonder Man. So it would be awesome if we saw Wonder Man in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So we'll leave you with that, and let me know if you guys are excited to see Nathan Fillion in a movie in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and comment below. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for staying with us on our tangents. And on that note, we're out of here.